Today we start with the inventory model with the deterministic model. Inventory system with the deterministic model. What are the deterministic model that we learned? That means the demand is known, that's why it is known as the deterministic model. Now, the paper name is the Operations Research and Optimization Technique. Paper code is MCA304. This is for the MCA. And for the BTech, name of the paper is Operations Research, code is CS505A. Today, we learn the lecture 35. Module is the inventory control. And for MCA, paper code is MCA304. Module is inventory control. Lecture is 33. And for BTech, paper code is CS505A. Previous class, we learned the lots of the definition, costs related to the inventory. All are the definitions. What is called the inventory control. Lots of the definitions is there. We already learned in the previous class. Today we learned the inventory control of the model is the deterministic model. There are the 4 models under this deterministic model. Inventory models with the deterministic demand. Inventory models with the deterministic demand. Deterministic means it is already known to us what are the demand for a particular period of the particular item. That's why it is known as the deterministic demand. It is exactly difficult to formulate a single general inventory model which takes into the account all varieties in the real system. We cannot develop a single model because that model is very much complex. So we cannot develop a single general model for the inventory control. We developed here the 4 models that we learn step by step. That is why inventory models are developed for some specific situations. So whatever the models we are going to develop or we are going to learn, it depends upon the specific situations. Like that, sometimes cases we already run when the shortages arises, that is the loss for the company because they lose their goodwill because they cannot deliver the product to the customers. One thing, another is the profit will be lost like that. So situation is that if the shortage arises, that is the one model, and another model is constant production and demand is there. So with that, one is the shortage. So we are going to learn the 4 different models according to the situations. We cannot combine all the 4 models in the one model. So today we learn the deterministic model, model 1, and related problems. In this section, we shall deal with the situation in which the demand is assumed to be fixed and completely known to us. Models for such situation, only one will be there, are called the economic lot size model or the economic order quantity EOQ models. So first, our objective is to find how much quantity to be ordered. That's why the total cost will be minimum. So first models, the situation is that we have to develop we have to find out the economic lot size or how much to be quantity to be ordered that the total cost will be minimum. That quantity is known as the economic order quantity or economic lot size, EOL or EOQ. In other words, EOQ is that size of the order which minimize the total annual cost of the carrying inventory. So annual cost is related to the carrying cost and the cost of the ordering, and also to the including that the item cost. Assume continuous of certainty and that the annual demands are known. The concept of EOQ was developed by the F. Harris in 1916. Concept of EOQ was developed by the F. Harris in the 1916. That is the history of the development of the EOQ in the year of 1916. This is the graphical representation of the EOQ. Now, this is the one curve, this is the one curve, and this is the one curve. Let's see, this is the annual total cost. We already learned what is called the annual total cost, or we can see in the during the development of the model, what is the annual total cost. This is annual total cost, and this is the bottom of the curve. So if we draw a horizontal line which starts this, that is the tangent of this point, and draw a perpendicular from that point. This is the curve of the annual ordering cost. When we are placing the order, cost is related to that. That is the ordering cost, and for the total annual cost for that ordering for the particular item. This curve is the straight line, that is the annual holding cost. So annual holding cost and the annual ordering cost intersection line this. So these line passes through the intersections of the annual holding cost and the annual ordering cost also touch at the bottom of the annual total cost. So this axis is our the quantity axis, and this axis is our the annual cost axis. So if we move this way, that is, it is representing the our quantity we are going to order. So this is the minimum point which that perpendicular line meets the q axis at that point. So here we are mentioning it is the small q, but in the later on in the model we are considering the capital Q. So that much amount, if we consider from is this quantity is our the EOQ, that is the economic order quantity. From the graphical representation, we can say that. See, this is the optimal order quantity, or we can call it the economic order quantity. This is the curve for the ordering cost curve. This is the carrying cost or the setup cost, and this is the for the total cost. So bottom of that, if we draw the tangent and draw the perpendicular, which is passes through the intersection of that, where it is meet the quantity axis, that is our the economic order quantity or the optimal order quantity. From the graph we can say. The basic deterministic inventory models. We are going to study the out of the 4 models. There are the 4 models we are going to study for the model 1 and the model 2. What are the basic models is that these basic models under the deterministic. This is the deterministic model. We have the another model, that is the probabilistic model. That is the 2 model under the probabilistic. One is the probability is given is the discrete and continuous, that probability distribution. Model 1 is the economic order quantity model, which uniform demand, infinite rate of production, have no shortage. That means as soon as the quantity is exhausted, then and then we will get our the quantity for that particular item during that our the production. Model 2, economic order quantity model with the uniform demand. Uniform demand is there. Finite rate of replenishment, that is the production. Here is the infinite rate of the production, or here is the finite rate of production. That means when you are replacing, it is the finite, that is the infinite. No shortage means as soon as the quantity is exhausted, comes down to zero, then and there we will get our the inventory. That is the stock of the product for our the production for the model 2. Now model 3. Model 3 is the economic order quantity model with uniform demand, infinite rate of replenishment, that is the production. It is similar to the model 1, but shortage which are to be fulfilled. That is the shortage is there. That means we have to spend the time unless until the our inventory is replaced. So it is going for a time, that is the product is short. So you have to stop the production. That means due to that loss will be there. That means profit will be less in this model. Model 4, economic order quantity model with the uniform demand, finite rate of replenishment, that is the production. It is the finite, and this in this case model 3 is the infinite rate of replacement, that is the production. Shortage which are to be fulfilled in this case also. So these two model 3 and 4 with the shortage, and if we compare with this the model 1 with the shortage, and this is we can compare with the model 2 with shortage. Now we learn the model 1 and develop there the model 1 and related variables. What are the variables related to that? And we have to find out the value and optimum value and the optimum time, optimum number of orders in a year or a stipulated period. Model 1, economic order quantity model with uniform demand, infinite rate of production having no shortage. This is the first model. That means our demand is known to us, and there is infinite rate of the production, and as soon as there is no shortage means the instantaneous replacement. As soon as the inventory goes to zero, then and then we will get to the inventory, and we can start the and production process is continuous. Now I can show you by the graphical representation or by the graph how it is doing that. In this model, we try to develop an economic order quantity. That means first we try to find out the EOQ formula for the optimum production quantity Q per cycle of a single product. We are considering with the single product, so as to minimize the total average variable cost per unit time. If we say by in the language, it cannot be clear to you. So better if we move to the diagram. Few assumptions is there, and the notations for these models are follows. D is the demand rate in uniform over the time and is known with the certainty. That means we know the how much we have the demand for our the production. That means how much quantity we need to produce the finished goods of that particular item for the 1 year or in a fixed time over the time. The inventory is replenished as soon as the level of the inventory reaches zero. That already I discussed in the model of the shortage. That means as soon as the item or inventory stock by using the product, during the production, it is slowly decreasing and reach to the zero. As soon as it reaches to the zero, we are we will get the stock again. That's why the shortage are not allowed. Lead time is 0. That means as soon as the inventory goes to 0, we will get the inventory to continue our the production. That's why the lead time is 0. The rate of inventory replacement is instantaneous, the same meaning. These 3 points have the same meaning. They are interrelated. If this happen, this will be 0. If this happen, so this will be the language we can write that. If this is in language we can write, that means it is implies that. So from that it implies that, from this it implies that. So 2, 3 and 4 we can say is the same thing in logically, but considering the variable we have to write that separately. Quantity discount are not allowed in this model. If the quantity already allowed, we have to calculate the item cost separately. That effective item rate we have to give for the calculation. TC we are calling as the variable TC, or the notation total inventory cost. ATC is the average total inventory cost. C3, as part of the symbol, whatever we learned in the previous class, the notation we know what is C3, what is C1, what is C2. C3 is our the setup cost per production run, or we can call it called the procurement cost, ordering. C1 is the cost of the holding stock per unit period of the time. This is the holding cost, C1. It is basically the related to the item cost with an percentage that already discussed in the previous class. What is the meaning of this? But symbol we have to use with an symbol, and also they are the variables. Now here try to explain the things with the help of the diagram. This fundamental situation can be shown on an inventory time diagram with the Q on the vertical axis, that is Q in the vertical axis, and this is our the time axis. Time axis parallel to the horizon, and horizontal axis we are considering as a time axis, and vertical axis we are considering as a quantity or the inventory Q. And the time of the horizon axis, the total time period is the 1 year. In this case, we are considering as an example as the total time period is the 1 year, is divided into n parts. That means this time period is the, we are considering is the T. This is also T. This is also T. So we divide the 1 year into the n number of intervals. Each time interval is T. This is Q, this portion, and this portion is T. So if we start from here our the production, this much is our the inventory stock, that is height of the inventory, and this is the start. O is our the start point, that means the time is the 0. As soon as we start production, so consumption start of the item, so it is slowly decreased. As when the T, that time period, time cycle is complete, this quantity of inventory decreases to 0. As soon as it is decreases to 0, we will get the again inventory in the same stock, same height. Again the next time cycle T, again it is decreasing and reached to 0. So as soon as it is reached to 0, it is again replaced by instantaneous, then and then, by the same quantity Q. Now, if we draw a line, what is maintaining the height of the quantity, that is Q by 2, that is the average inventory, we can call it Q by 2. This is half. This is the Q. In the half, a line which is parallel to the time axis. In the middle of that is Q by 2. So first we find out the area of this triangle by using the formula. We know half base into height. What is the half? Base is the T and height is the Q. So area of this triangle is half QT, we can say. That we have to remember. From that we calculate the cost, setup cost, holding cost, and the item cost, then the total cost, then average cost. From that we form an relation with the total cost. From that we calculate the for which value of T it will be minimum, and we have to check the condition it is fulfilled or not for the minimization. Let Q be the unit of the quantity produced or ordered or supplied per production run. Per production run, we are placing the Q quantity at the interval T throughout the entire time period, say 1 year. Now, if the N denotes the total number of runs, that means 1, 2, 3, like that, it is the N runs is going on. So N into T equal to our 1 year of the quantity produced during the year. Then clearly we have 1. This is the 1 means 1 year. 1 equal to N into T. This is the time cycle T, and how many cycle is there? N cycle. So N into T equal to 1 year. And D is equal to NQ. This is the per production cycle. We are using the N. N cycle, how much NQ? That is our the D. That is our the demand for the year. So in each production run, we need the Q. That means this is basically our the EOQ. And when we are finding the EOQ, we are mentioning the optimal quantity or optimum quantity by Q star, when we will get that value of this Q. So D equal to NQ. Therefore, Q we can write. So Q we can write DT. Q equal to DT. Because this T is the basically the fraction value. If we mention T in hour or a month and 1 is the year, obviously this T will be in a fraction value. This is our the relation 1. It is clear from that with the diagram in this. Now, if we back, that will be better. I already said that the area of this triangle is half base into height, that is base is T and this is the Q. So half QT is our area of this triangle. The total inventory over the time period T days is clearly the area of the first angle of the figure and is equal to half QT. That much inventory is there. Thus, the average inventory at any time on any given day in the T period is half QT is there, divided by T is half Q. That is our the average inventory. Half of Q is our the average inventory. This is our the total inventory in the time T. If we divide it by the T, what we will get? TT cancel out, half QT, that is our the average inventory. Now, since each of the triangle in figure over a year period looks the same, half Q remains the average amount of inventory is in interval. That means each time interval all are half Q, and length T duration the entire period. Therefore, the inventory holding cost per production run is half QTC1. What is the quantity is there for particular and a triangle is half QT, and C1 is our the holding cost. So total holding cost is half QTC1. The total cost per production run TC, it is our the holding cost, and this is our the setup cost per production run. C3 is our the setup cost, and total holding cost is half QT C1. C3 is the cost for per production run, C3. So this is our the total cost. Now, if it is divided by the T, we will get the average total cost. Therefore, the average total cost ATC is equal to TC by T. So what we will get? This divided by T. If we separate the term, what we will get? TT for the first term, T will be cancelled out, and we will get half QC1. And for the second term, we will get C3. 1 by T, we will get D by Q. We already find out that T is equal to Q by D, or we can say we already find out that Q equal to dt. From that we can write T equal to Q by D. Since T is in the denominator, so it will be the D by Q. So this equation is known as the cost equation. Now we try to minimize the cost T for which value of the T. So what we have to do? We have to find out the differentiation of this with respect to 2 and equal to 0. We will get the value of T. That T you have to put in the second derivative and check it is positive or not. If it is the positive, then that T value gives us the minimum value. If that is the negative, that gives us the maximum. That is the maximum minimum rules according to that. Average total cost ATC is equal to half QC1 plus C3 D by Q. That is the previous relation. For optimum value of ATC, we have differentiation. We are finding the Q. We can find out also with respect to the T also. But here we try to find out with respect to the Q. That is the optimum value of Q. So we are differentiating with respect to Q. One can also convert that the equation from the total cost. That cost is converted to the Q. That's why we are differentiating. If we keep with the T, then we can differentiate with respect to the T, and also we can find out the value of T and put it in the second derivation. That way we can do also. Here we are doing with respect to the differentiating Q, and we are finding the value of Q. That Q value, we put it into the second derivative and check whether it is the positive or negative. According to that, we have to conclude. So differentiating with respect to Q from the first, we will get half C1, and since here Q in the denominator, what we will get? Minus D C3 by Q square. Minus 1, minus 1. So it is the Q square. And this is equal to 0. When we are finding the maximum minimum derivative with respect to that particular variable, for which respect we have tried to find out the maximum or minimum, considering equal to 0. And from that we will get Q equal to, so after changing the side, what we will get? Q square equal to, this will multiply it here, twice D C3 divided by C1. So Q square equal to twice D C3 by C1. Therefore, we will get Q equal to square root of twice D C3 C1. We are taking here the positive value. You can ask, why not the negative? Because this is the physical quantity Q. That's why it cannot be the negative, and this is the positive value we are considering, square root of twice D C3 by C1. And this is, we are calling it the relation C3. Now find out the second derivative of that ATC. Second derivative. This is the first derivative. Now we are taking the second derivative of that. Second derivative, we will get twice d C3 by Q. On this, only the derivative. So what we will get? Minus 2, that will come here, minus 2. So minus and minus 2, this is the constant, will be 0. Minus 2 and minus, that is the plus 2, that is plus 2. D and C3 is the constant, at it is there, and minus 2 minus 1, that is the Q to the power 3 at the denominator. So all are the positive, that's why it is greater than 0, because D, C3 and Q all are the positive, that's why it is greater than 0. Since it is greater than 0, whatever the value we got, Q equal to that gives the minimum value as per our the definition or the properties of finding the maximum and minimum. So therefore the ATC is minimum for the optimum quantity. You can write Q star. Whatever the value we got Q, that we are denoted as the Q star, that is the optimum value or optimal value. That is given by Q star equal to Q equal to square root of twice DC3 by C1, which is known as the economic lot size, formula or EOQ formula. The other optimum quantity that we have to find out the optimum time. Time T is given by T star is equal to Q star by D. As per our definition, whatever the relation we got there T equal to Q by D. Okay, we can find out T star equal to Q star by D. Q star by D equal to 2C3 square root of 2C3 by C1D. From that we will get that. D, if we divide it by D, it goes to inside. And 1D will be cancelled out, 1 will be here. Outside is D, when it is goes inside, it is D into D, 1D will be cancelled out, that's why 1D is in the denominator. Twice C3, square root of twice C3 by C1D. The minimum total cost per unit of the time is given by, so one by one we have to find out the value of that. ATC, we know the ATC, so ATC mean is equal to half C1. This is Q star plus DC3. This is our the value of the T. ATC, what is our ATC? This, from that we are using that value from this part. Q star, we can see. Now half C1 we put it here, twice DC3 by C1, this is the Q star, and from that we have put it there, we will get that DC3 this part. So this is the one relation to find out the ATC mean, and another ATC mean we can find out square root of twice DC1 C3. So we can apply this also, we can apply this also. Or another is ATC mean is equal to half Q star C1 and DC3 by Q star. DC3 by Q star, that's why it is twice DC3 by C1. It is changing the denominator to numerator. So this formula, any one we have to remember during the numerical calculations or when we are doing the problem. We determine the optimum number of orders to be placed. As soon as we know our optimum order quantity, that is the economic order quantity or the optimum or economic lot size, we know the relation N is the D by Q star. So this is the number of order we are placing per year or per period, whatever the given in a particular problem. That is optimum number of order N equal to total number of demand, that is the total demand which is known to us for this model, and optimum quantity we already found out by from the model 1 Q star, we will get that. Now, considering the buffer stock as B, for which the model we get the following formula. We already learned what is called the buffer stock. B is our the buffer stock. That is the maximum inventory should be buffer stock plus economic order quantity. That should be our the maximum inventory. For a particular item in our database, we are keeping the information. For a particular item, first information we are keeping either in a bin card, that is the system is bin card. Nowadays, not using is everywhere the bin card. They are using the database. In a database, they are keeping that the inventory information, that is the maximum inventory. What would be the maximum inventory? When the max inventory is cross the maximum inventory, that is the stock level, we are not placing the order. Average inventory, that is the buffer stock plus half Q star, that is our the average inventory. We can call it B plus buffer stock plus average inventory. Minimum inventory basically is our the buffer stock, that is the minimum level. And when we are placing the order, that is the reorder level. Reorder level, we already learned buffer stock plus LE into D. That D is not whatever the learn in the this model 1. That D basically is the per day. What is the requirement in the per day? Because LE we are counting as a days. Effective lead time. Difference of the maximum lead time and the lead time. That difference we are taking, and that precaution we are taking for the stock. So buffer stock plus that precaution stock we are taking LE into D. Where B is the buffer stock, we know LE is the effective lead time, D is the demand per day. It is better if we mention it is the small d instead of the capital D. That would be better for us and you also. Example we are considering. Now we discussed in the next class for the model 1 with the example of the model 1, that is model 1 economic order quantity model with uniform demand, infinite rate of the production, having no shortage. So that model we are discussed with the help of the example in the next class.